Welcome back, everybody. We've got another deep dive for you. This time it's all about building rapport and influence.
Yeah, and it's everything.
Everything from generating specific emotions to projecting authority.
Yeah, you got it.
Get ready, folks, because it's a wild ride connecting your inner world with your impact on others.
For sure.
We're going to unpack some really intriguing ideas.
I'm excited.
Like, how about learning to detect other people's emotions just by tuning into your own feelings?
That's right.
Wild, right? And then there's this whole concept of pacing and leading, aligning with someone's reality before subtly guiding them.
Guiding them where you want them to go.
We've even got some stuff on authority hacks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, how to project that aura of authority through social proof, through clothing, even by how you're standing.
Yeah, your posture.
But here's the big thing.
What's up?
The golden thread that runs through all of this is
I know this one.
congruency.
Yeah, congruency is key.
Your outward actions have to match your genuine internal state for any of this to actually work.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And to help us break it all down,
Unpack it all.
we've got an expert who's amazing at synthesizing information
I love doing that.
and pulling out those golden nuggets of insight.
That's me, the nugget guy.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm really excited about this.
Well, I'm excited to explore this whole idea of empathic influence.
Empathic influence, what's that?
It's basically the ability to influence other people
Oh,
by mastering your own emotional state first
okay.
and using that to kind of subtly guide theirs.
I'm intrigued, but I got to say,
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical too. It almost sounds like we're talking about manipulation here.
Not manipulation.
Yeah.
No. It's really about understanding how emotions are contagious.
Okay. Oh,
When you learn to control your own emotional state,
Uh-huh.
you can create a ripple effect, you know?
Okay.
And that influences the people around you.
So how do we actually do that?
That's the million-dollar question.
One of the sources talked about an exercise
Oh, yeah.
where you intentionally cycle through different emotions
Interesting.
and you have a partner try to figure out what you're feeling. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, that's one way to start
Yeah.
to develop this skill.
Right.
You see, everyone has this capacity for emotional calibration.
Emotional calibration.
It's a fancy word.
So what does it mean?
Well, it's basically tuning into those subtle internal cues and sensations that signal different emotions.
Okay, so inside of you.
Inside, yeah.
Got it.
Most people haven't learned to pay attention to those signals.
I'm one of those people
So they're essentially flying blind
when it comes to their own emotions.
to their own emotional state,
Yeah.
let alone figuring out other people's emotions.
So it's like learning to read your own, like, internal emotional barometer.
Exactly.
Got it.
The more you practice, the more sensitive you become to those shifts, those little changes within yourself.
And the better you understand your own feelings.
Right. The more accurately you'll be able to read the emotions of others.
This is where I kind of get lost. How does understanding my emotions
Yeah.
help me know what someone else is feeling?
It's about recognizing those little cues that we all give off.
Okay, give me an example.
Facial expressions, body language, tone of voice.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've tuned into those cues within yourself, you start to notice them in other people.
Okay, so it's not like mind reading or some mystical ability.
It's not at all.
It's about developing a heightened sensitivity
Yeah, that's it.
to these emotional cues,
Yeah.
both internal and external.
You got it.
Okay.
I'm with you.
It's a skill, just like any other skill.
Practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
And one of the sources mentioned
yeah.
that this ability can become like a superpower.
A superpower, that's right.
What do they mean by that?
Well, think about it. If you can accurately read someone's emotions,
Yeah.
you have a huge advantage in any interaction, right?
Like you can tailor your communication, your approach, your body language to create rapport and connection.
Now you're speaking my language.
I knew I would get there.
One of the things that really caught my eye
What's that?
was this sphere of influence technique.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It combines visualization
Visualization?
with amped up emotion
To
to create an impact. Initially, I thought this was a little too woo-woo for me.
I understand the skepticism,
But-
but hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not about some magical energy sphere. Okay.
So what is it about?
The visualization, it's simply a tool
Okay.
to help you generate a powerful emotional state within yourself.
So it's not about the mental picture itself.
You got it.
It's about the feeling you generate when you visualize.
That's the key.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
So let's say you're going into a tough negotiation and you want to project confidence and authority.
Yeah, who doesn't want that?
You might visualize yourself surrounded by this golden sphere of energy, right?
Right.
But the key is to actually feel that confidence.
As you're picturing it.
As you're visualizing.
So it's like method acting for your emotions.
Kinda.
You're using visualization to get yourself into that right state.
Exactly.
And that then influences the dynamic of whatever's happening.
That's how it works.
Wow.
And remember, the better you understand your own emotional landscape, the more effectively you can use visualization to generate those emotions.
So it all comes back to emotional calibration.
Full circle.
Right.
It really does.
It does. The more aware you are of your own emotions, the better you can use visualization as a tool.
Like having a finely tuned instrument.
Exactly.
Okay, this next concept I actually have some experience with.
What's that?
Pacing and leading.
Ah, yes, pacing and leading.
It's all about finding that common ground.
Common ground.
With the other person.
Yeah.
Aligning with their reality.
Alignment, so important. And then subtly guiding them towards an outcome.
A desired outcome.
It's a delicate dance.
It is. It really is.
And you've got to have integrity.
That's key.
Pacing has to be genuine.
It can't be some manipulative trick.
No tricks.
You're highlighting things that are actually true.
About the person or the situation.
Right. Building trust.
You're laying the groundwork for leading.
That's the foundation.
One of the sources gave this great example.
I'd love to hear it.
Using something called conversational fractionation.
Conversational fractionation? What's that?
Where you weave together pacing statements.
Okay.
With these subtle leading suggestions.
Interesting.
It's all about finding that rhythm.
Finding the flow.
In the conversation where you're building rapport.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're gently nudging the conversation.
In a certain direction.
That's it.
It's an art.
It is.
And it's important to remember, influential language doesn't have to sound slow or robotic.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like a robot.
No, not at all.
Okay, got it.
The most effective communicators are often those who are congruent. Authentic, genuine.
So it's not about putting on some kind of voice.
No.
Or using a bunch of jargon.
No. Be yourself.
It's about being yourself.
Exactly.
But with a heightened awareness of the impact your words are having.
On the other person.
That makes so much sense.
I'm glad it does. Yeah, it's about being really intentional with your communication.
Intentional, okay.
Choosing your words carefully, your tone of voice, to really get the effect that you want.
Get that desired effect.
And being present, paying attention to the subtle cues from the other person.
It's like we're finally getting to the core of what it means to be influential.
That's a great way to put it.
It's not about tricks or techniques.
Right, it's not about that.
It's about mastering your inner game.
Yeah.
So your outward impact is aligned with your intention.
Your true intentions.
Okay, so that brings us to another aspect of influence, right?
What's that?
Establishing authority.
Ah, authority.
We often think of authority in terms of like hierarchy or position.
The boss, the leader.
But these sources dive into how authority can be conveyed through social proof.
Social proof, yeah.
Clothing, even posture.
That's interesting.
There was this hilarious anecdote about a bunch of hypnotists.
Hypnotists? What?
Who preceded social proof at a training to boost their perceived authority.
Oh, tell me more.
So they had their friends spread the word about how amazing these guys were at certain skills.
So they're already like building up a reputation.
But the catch is, no one had actually seen them do anything.
Oh, wow. Sneaky.
It's amazing how we're influenced by what other people think.
Yeah.
Even without direct evidence.
Even if we haven't seen it ourselves.
Think about testimonials, online reviews, all forms of social proof.
They leverage the power of collective opinion.
You know, like that saying.
What's that?
If everyone's doing it, it must be the right thing to do.
Right. The herd mentality.
We're wired to follow the crowd, to seek that validation.
Is that our nature? Social proof. Super powerful for authority.
Absolutely. If you can show that others trust and respect you,
your
credibility instantly goes up.
It's like a shortcut.
In a way, yeah.
One of the sources mentioned this phenomenon called white coat hypnosis.
White coat hypnosis, what's that?
Where people automatically defer to doctors just because of the white coat.
Oh, wow. The power of the uniform.
It's the symbol, the perceived expertise.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Those external cues triggering a subconscious response.
Powerful stuff.
We don't all wear white coats.
That's true.
But we can still be mindful of how we present ourselves.
How we dress, how we stand.
Our demeanor.
It all sends a message.
It's like that saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Yeah, if you want to be seen as an authority, you need to act like it.
Walk the walk.
Exactly.
But it's not about being fake.
No, not at all.
Or putting on a persona.
Right. It's got to be genuine.
It's about aligning your outer presentation with your inner state. That inner confidence and authority.
Congruency is key.
Always key.
So we've talked about emotional calibration, visualization, pacing, and leading, even authority hacks.
It's a lot.
It is, and I feel like there's one big piece missing from this whole puzzle.
What's that?
The ethics of it all.
The ethics.
These are powerful techniques.
They are.
And I can see how they could be misused.
I see your point, and the sources do address that.
They do?
Yeah, the key is to approach these skills with integrity. Using them to empower others, not to exploit or deceive.
One source emphasized this idea of becoming the romantic hero.
The romantic hero, interesting.
In your own life.
Not in a cheesy Hollywood way.
No.
But by embodying qualities that really attract and inspire.
Be your best self.
Yeah, not playing a role, not putting on a facade.
It's about cultivating authenticity, confidence, integrity, those qualities that make people want to follow you.
Because they resonate with who you are, not because they feel pressured, manipulated.
You know, it's like that saying, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
That's so true.
If you radiate warmth, confidence, genuine connection, that leaves a lasting impression.
Absolutely. And that's what true influence is all about.
It's about creating a positive impact.
By being the best version of yourself.
I love that.
So far, we've talked about using these skills one-on-one.
Right.
But I'm curious, how do these principles apply in a group dynamic?
Oh, that's a great question.
Like if you're giving a presentation or leading a team meeting.
How can you use these things to create a more engaging experience?
An impactful experience.
A lot of the same principles apply.
Okay.
It's just on a larger scale.
Larger scale, yeah.
It starts with setting the right tone.
The doubt.
Creating that sense of connection right from the start.
So no more boring PowerPoint presentations.
Definitely not.
Or droning on for hours.
Think about how you can capture people's attention.
Yeah.
Spark their curiosity.
Make them feel part of something bigger.
One of the sources talked about the power of storytelling.
Storytelling? I love stories.
How can we use storytelling
to
connect with an audience and make our message stick?
Well, stories are incredibly powerful. They let us tap into people's emotions.
Paint vivid pictures in their minds.
They make those abstract concepts relatable.
When you're telling a story, think about the emotions you want to evoke.
What kind of journey do you want to take them on?
One of the sources gave this great example
of
using a story to explain a complex business concept. Instead of just presenting data and statistics.
The dry data.
They told a story about this struggling entrepreneur who overcame obstacles.
Oh, wow.
And achieved success.
I bet that was much more engaging.
It was so much more memorable.
Exactly. Stories help us connect with information.
Make it stick.
And they can be super effective for building rapport and influence.
Even in a large group. So it's about finding those stories that resonate.
With your audience.
Illustrate your points in a way that is compelling.
And don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, share your own experiences. People connect with authenticity.
Another thing that I noticed was the importance of humor.
Humor. Oh, yeah.
Humor can break down barriers, create a more relaxed atmosphere.
It's such a powerful tool for connection.
It can lighten the mood.
Disarm defensive.
Make people more receptive.
To your message.
But you got to use humor appropriately.
Absolutely. You don't want to offend anyone or come across as unprofessional.
Know your audience.
Be respectful.
What about when things get tough?
Tough? How so?
You know, when you have to deliver bad news or have a difficult conversation.
Those tough conversations.
How do you use rapport and influence in those situations?
That's when empathy and compassion are super important.
So it's about acknowledging people's feelings.
Validating their concerns.
Communicating clearly and respectfully.
That's it.
It's not about sugarcoating things.
No.
Or avoiding those tough conversations.
It's about facing them head on.
With honesty and sensitivity.
Be present. Listen attentively.
Respond in a way that shows you care.
That's how you build trust even in tough times.
Okay, so we've talked about how to use these principles one-on-one and in groups.
Yeah.
But what about the bigger picture?
The bigger picture, what do you mean?
How can we use these ideas to create positive change in the world?
Now that's a powerful question.
It is, isn't it?
It's about using our skills and our influence to make the world a better place.
So it's not just about getting what we want
No.
or achieving personal success.
It's about something bigger.
It's about using our influence for good.
For something bigger than ourselves.
That can manifest in so many ways.
It can.
Advocating for a cause, inspiring others to take action.
Or just spreading kindness in everyday life.
Each of us has a ripple effect.
We do.
Our actions and our words have power.
They influence those around us.
The more intentional we are,
the more positive impact we can have.
One of the sources talked about leading from the heart.
Leading from the heart. What does that mean to you?
Leading with integrity.
Compassion, authenticity.
Making decisions that are aligned with your values.
Striving to do what's right, even when it's tough.
So it's not about being perfect.
No.
Or always having the right answer.
It's about following your heart.
Your intuition, your commitment to making a difference.
That's beautifully said.
And inspiring others to do the
Getting
same.
it from their hearts.
To use their influence for good.
To create a world that is more just.
More compassionate, more fulfilling for everyone.
That's the dream.
I love that. It's like we've come full circle.
We have.
We started by talking about mastering our inner world.
Our emotions, our sense of self.
And now we're talking about using that inner strength.
To create positive change in the world.
It's all connected.
It really is.
The more we cultivate our inner world,
the more positive impact we can have.
This has been such an inspiring conversation.
It has.
I'm feeling so energized, so motivated.
I'm glad to hear that.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Keep exploring, keep experimenting.
Keep learning.
Be the best version of yourself.
And for our listeners out there.
Yes, listeners.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into rapport and influence.
Such a fascinating topic.
We hope you've picked up some valuable insights that you can take with you.
Into your own life.
Remember, you have the power to create positive change, starting with yourself.
That's right.
Until next time, keep diving deep. That's the big question, though, right?
Yeah.
What are we all going to do with this knowledge?
Exactly. Put it into practice.
One of the sources had this interesting idea.
What's that?
What if we thought about being that romantic hero, not just in dating, but in all areas of life?
The romantic hero.
Not in a cheesy way.
No, not cheesy.
But with that intention.
Yeah, I like
to create a really positive experience for the other person.
A memorable experience.
That sounds exhausting, though.
Exhausting? Why?
Trying to be on all the time.
I hear you. It's not about being on all the time.
So what is it about then?
It's more about just being aware of the impact you're having.
Oh.
And making conscious choices about how you want to show up.
So it's that intentionality.
Intentionality, yes.
Choosing our words, our tone, our body language.
Knowing those little things can have a big impact.
What really resonated with me was this idea that real influence comes from congruence.
Oh, yeah, congruence.
When our inner world is aligned with our actions,
that's powerful.
That's when we have the biggest impact.
Walking the talk.
People can sense when you're being genuine.
That genuineness.
When you're coming from a place of integrity.
And that's what makes influence so powerful.
So no more faking it till we make it.
No more faking it.
Got it.
It's about embracing who you are, owning your strengths, showing up authentically.
You know, all this comes down to self-awareness.
Self-awareness, the foundation.
The more we understand ourselves,
our motivations, our strengths, our weaknesses,
the better we can use these principles.
You got it.
So it's not just about learning technique.
It's deeper than that.
It's a journey.
A journey of self-discovery.
This deep dive has been, I don't know, eye-opening.
Eye-opening. I like that.
I'm already thinking about how I can apply these principles in my own life.
That's great to hear.
Not just with other people, but for my own growth.
Personal growth.
It's a process, not a destination.
Keep exploring, keep experimenting.
Keep learning.
And to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Into rapport and influence.
Such a fascinating topic.
We hope you've learned something valuable.
Something you can use in your own life.
Remember, you have the power to create change, starting with yourself.
Couldn't agree more.
Until next time, keep diving deep.